Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's the Paper Lion and I'm Gypsy. Thanks for being here with me today. What we're going to be working with today is something that a lot of us probably have that we doesn't seem like it gets enough exposure. We're always talking about envelopes, but many of us, when we're out and we're shopping, like yard sales, thrift stores, whatever, we run across greeting cards. Like, as you can see, tons of greeting cards. We're always talking about what to do with the envelopes. Well, I hardly ever see what to do with the greeting cards. I know a lot of us will take them and just put them as like a little page or a signature in a journal, and leave them as a blank little spot for people to journal on or whatever. But I don't see a lot of things done with them. So today we're going to explore some of the things that maybe we can do with these. I don't know how they're all going to turn out today, but I did do this one before I started recording. I thought that was a really pretty image of this little bird card, and this one is going horizontal, so instead of going like that, it's going across that way. So I worked with it that way because all cards are different. So I just added like a little bit of a word here with a cutout, a die cut little flower, and then I added, like, if some of you have seen my glue book tutorials, I just took paper and basically put it in glue book style. So it's glued here in the center, and it's sturdy in there. You don't have to worry about it going nowhere, and you don't even have to use staples, or you don't have to bind it in because it's there. And so I also, for the interior, I added paper for the interior, and then on the back side I used an envelope. Now, obviously, if you can tell, this envelope is not big enough for this card to have fit in. This one didn't come with a card, so I just used one of my odd cards, and I added some of the paper that I used on the interior to decorate the envelope up. And then I did some stamping on it, added another little sticker here, and then some of this flower cutout that you guys have probably seen me use. I think I got these from like a banner or something, and then gave it the little flower with the silver on it just to kind of match the front. And if you guys saw my last video, you saw how we did these peekaboo tags, and that's a perfect spot to add one of those. You don't have to do all of this to them, and so we're going to just explore a couple of other ways that we might be able to just dress up and alter some greeting cards. I brought out some papers. I have some papers here, some scraps. So this is also a good way to use up some scraps. Let's set those to the side. And I just pulled out a couple of random greeting cards that we're going to work with today. The first one that's on my pile, put those other ones to the side for right now. Excuse me. We're going to try to get through 4. But if we can't get through 4, that's okay. Because I don't want this video to be too long. Of course, you're going to need some scissors. You're going to need some glue. You're going to need whatever you're going to decorate with. With this one, if you want, a lot of them have these interior quotes. You can leave those. This one says, "Grace to you and peace from God our Father." Depends on how religious you are, what the interiors are. Depends on what you might want to cover. In this one, I think I like that scripture, so I'm actually just going to cover this part up over here today. So to do that, I am just going to, and I think I'll go ahead and ink this interior just in case, so it'll be inked up mainly on this side, since we're not going to cover this side. Go ahead and ink that up. So how are you guys doing today? This is my second video for today. I'm not sure when I'm going to get it edited. I don't know why I'm even inking this side when I'm going to cover that up. But I hope you guys are doing well. I'm just going to go along here. My daughter's been playing with my glue. Oh my God, do any of you all have like have a hard time keeping your kids out of your crafting stuff? Like, and you know, I don't feel too bad about her, you know, because it encourage, you know, I encourage creativity, but it's like, girl, leave my stuff alone. You have plenty of your own. So we're just gonna line this up. We're gonna do it easy. We're not gonna do hardly any measuring today, because I don't really want to do any measuring. So we're just going to kind of line that up, make sure that will close properly on it. So since we're not going to be doing any measuring, we're just going to flip that over and cut along from the outside. Today is today is Friday. Can't even keep up with my days. Today is Friday. It's probably around, it's close to 1 o'clock. All right, so now we've got that. We got a nice little interior. And you could stop there if you wanted to. You can go back and do like some ruffle around the edge of that. Maybe we will. Let me see, do I have any paper? Any tissue paper? Yes, indeed I do. It's kind of ratty right now, but that's okay. Like I said, each one of these little things can be different. It doesn't have to be any exact thing. You know, they can all be different. So we're just going to go ahead and add a little piece of, not a piece of, but like a little glue line here. And we're just going to take that and kind of just scrunch that up there. One thing I love about this tissue paper like that is that it's so easy to just scrunch it up really quick. I'm just going to give that a ragged little tear along here, just for like a little accent or whatever. And I do not have the envelopes for this, so I will not be able to do the little long skinny ones. I don't have the envelopes for those. So I can't go back and do the envelopes on the back like I did with the other one. And that's okay too. Get some of that out of the way. So you can take that, and then if you want to, you could leave it blank like that. You know, you don't have to do anything there. You can add a little stamping. With this one, since it's got, you know, the birthday on the front, I am going to cover over that with something. Let me see if I can find something that would work with this color. Let's see, what does that look like? That's not long enough. I don't think that one's going to be long enough either. Alright, so let's see what else I have. Kind of going through and using the same things that I used for my last video because they're close by. Let's see if there's anything in here that looks promising. Okay, so let's remedy that by doing this. I have this right here. I wish the words were going that way. So I have some light here I can actually see. So we're gonna go here, cut that about like that. Cut this down. Hopefully I'm not cutting that too short. Yes, that will work. Let's round these little edges here. And I'll probably go through and edit some of that out. And I never, like, when I do journals, I never do anything like, I never really do anything for like birthdays, you know, or like specific holidays or anything like that. I have my reasons, but also it just kind of, to me, it takes away from being able to use the things that I make for anything. Because if you limit it to certain things, you know, certain specifics, then you can only use it for that. And I like having my things to where I can use them pretty much for whatever I want to. Now that that has been completely covered, we can come back with something like that. Let's see, do I want to do that one? Let's do this. Give that a little bit of ink. Got that there. And you can go back and add something down here if you want to kind of fill that in, or you can just kind of leave that be. And so now we've got that on the inside. We got this blank. Like I said, you could honestly go back and add like a strip of that, like add a couple of strips of that if you wanted to give like a little bit of color variation. And on here on the back, we can take something and make a back pocket. Let's see. Does that kind of match? Yes, it does. So let's do that. And that kind of covers up the wording on the back if you don't want that to show. And then also gives you a pocket. I mean, that's the main reason for putting this back here, because you could always just cover that over with a sticker or something like that. All right, there you go. A quick and easy little alteration to a greeting card. You can do whatever you want to. If you want to come back through and add lace here, if you want to do whatever, you can just take one of these little pretty things and add it to the back. You know, use that to add something on the back side, and there you go, one down. Took hardly any time. All right, let's move on to another one. Let's see what is next on the list. Get this out of the way for right now. Okay, we have this pretty little one here. And let's see, what side shall we put in here? Do you want to do both sides in here? I kind of like this part in the middle. Actually, I kind of like this part too. I think I'm going to turn it around and do it like this. So, and with this one, I'm going to cover both sides of the interior. So with that, we're just going to glue this down. Just going to make sure we get that all the way to the corner. Make sure you get it in the position you want it before you glue it completely down. And with that being glued right, let's make sure we got it glued all the way down to that edge, that fold line. That way we can fold this over. Where's my ruler? Make sure you got that all the way to the fold line there. That way when you glue the second side, you don't have any issues. Okay. I mean, it might bubble up just a little bit, but I think it'll be okay. Get that as close as possible. And again, without having to pre-cut and measure, we are just going to follow on the outside. Okay, let's set that aside in case we need it later. I'm not sure. For some reason, this envelope is cracking at the edges. So to combat that, what we are going to do is take just a little bit of this, the same height that we did it, and we are just going to cut out a strip. Doesn't have to be perfect, because if you don't like how it looks, you can come back and add pockets. Okay, so to combat that, because not all envelopes are going to do that, but some of them might. So we're just going to go with a little glue here, and we are going to create like a little bit of a spine almost. And that helps to tie the inside together as well. Like I said, you can do these all kinds of ways. There is no right or wrong way to do this. We're just jazzing these up a little bit. Make sure we at least have it kind of centered. You do want it to kind of stay straight before you glue it. I'm going ahead and adding some. And if that goes too far over, which I kind of think that one does go a little bit far, I'm just going to go ahead and cut that down a little bit for my preference. give that a little bit of Okay, so now we've got this and this. And you can draw in there. You could add some paper like in the glue book style if you wanted to. But what I'm going to do is see if I can't come back here and maybe do another one of those pockets. Let's see if I have something big enough to do a pocket back there. Something like that maybe. Oh, I think that's cute. But that doesn't cover everything that we want to cover back there. Let's see what we have over here. I think that one's pretty. And that will cover pretty much everything. Of course, you can give that a little divot if you want to indicate a pocket. You know, let's see. Let's give that just a little. We don't want to take off really any of the artwork. We'll just give it a little divot there, just so people know. And I don't think that's completely centered, but it's going to be okay. Just get back and give that a little bit of inking. Okay, and there is another pretty little altered. You can of course come back in here and give some ink. You can round those corners if you want to. Totally up to you what you do with it from this part. You know, if you want to add a little, you know, some little pockets in here. Let's see if we have something that we can add some pockets with. Is that too harsh for that? No, not really, because that matches that. So that'll give us a little bit of. With this one, because I'm going to create pockets, I am going to bring out my cutting tool. Just so that I can get a straight edge on these, since they're going to be for pockets. Okay. My cutter is not cutting as well as it used to. Let's see. Let's get a little mark on here to see where I need to cut this. Okay. And let's see what size is this? Two and a half, so let's do 1 1/4. And hopefully that'll give me half of that. Okay, it's not. I guess it wasn't 2 1/2 all the way across, because, and if it was, I just don't know how to count. Yeah, it wasn't a completely 2 1/2. So we're just going to get as close to this one as we can. go here with this. All right, and then there we have it. There is another pretty altered little greeting card. And now you can still add that in as a signature if you want to, but now it's pretty enough that you can just stick it into a pocket. It can be completely on its own. You know, there's spots for them to journal in there. If, like I said, if you want to do a glue book, add paper for a glue book, there's room for that. And then you got a cute little pocket that you can add something to. Let's see. Just add something into that pocket right there. And with these cute little peekaboo, I think that's really cute right there. I think that's so sweet. All right, now let's see. We got a couple. Let's move on because we have a couple more. Let's see. We have this one. Get that out of the way. Again, this one is a birthday, so I'm going to cover up this side of it. I'm not going to worry about covering the other one. I can go back and add a pocket there if I want to, but I'm going to go ahead and ink the interior a little bit or a lot of it, depending on what you want. However you ink yours is up to you. These, for some reason, are not lining up properly. These are older cards, and it doesn't seem like they're lining up. I think that's what was wrong with one of the other ones that I did. They're not lining up. Yes, the one that I did the paper, it didn't line up perfectly either. So you can, when it doesn't line up, you can add a little paper in it or something to kind of hide that, or you can just cut it off depending on what you want to do. So let's go ahead and get this one. Some glue here. Just making sure you're getting as close to the edge as you can. I'm just going to close it up, make sure everything closes like it should. Alright, so we got that done. That's pretty. Spot for them to journal. They can add a picture there, whatever. Let's see, what do we have that we can put across here? Let's see if this one's going to be as long as the other one. It looks like it will be. So we'll probably have to do the same thing that we did to the last one, just to kind of get that covered over. Yeah, something like that's way too long, too big too. Let's see. Trying to see what I can find. As I said, I didn't bring a whole lot of stuff with me to the desk. I'm kind of just using the same things. But I do want to do something a little different than what I just did a few minutes ago. So let's try. Let's do something like this, and then we'll go over that with a word. Okay, so let's ink that lower half of that. This is some paper from Temu, so it's quite thin. So let's get that to come down like that over there. So let's just glue a part of this halfway down. Like that. Okay, and then we can just go and clip off this excess, and we can use that. Actually, we might use that on the inside. Let's see, just to give it a little bit of similarity. Not similarity, but what's the word I want to use? I don't know. I don't know what word I want to use right now, but we'll just flip that one over and put that one on the inside like that. Okay, and there is that. Let's go ahead and ink that up here to make that look like it belongs. All right, and there is another cute little thing. You can go and add some lace here, add some ribbon in there if you want to, or you can just leave it simply as it is. Tuck that into a pocket. Let's do something about this back. Since we already had that one out, we can use that quickly for a little pocket. Although this is kind of flimsy, I think that would tear as a pocket. We don't want it to tear. So what else do I have close by. Let me see. Trying to see what I have close by that would fit with this theme. That kind of looks like this to kind of cover that over. Actually, we don't have to make it into a pocket. We can just glue it down to where it just, you know, yeah, we'll just glue it down. Cut a little bit of this. Cut a little bit of this off here. Excuse the noise. My cat is in here. She's actually behaving pretty well today, which I'm very surprised. Mainly because she's being a sleepy cat right now. Okay, so we're gonna get it to the point where it's gonna try to want to get all of that in there, so I might have to just come back and clip that off. So I'll just start gluing it here. So we can always just add a little pop of glue if we don't get everything we want covered. Okay. So really no need for a pocket. You don't have to make it into a pocket. Crease that so I can give myself a better cut. Actually, there we go. That paper's so weak that it easily tears. So that worked in my favor for that one. And now they got a journaling spot back here. And there you go. And there is another cute little example. You can frame out something here if you want to. You can do like some little stamping. If you want to. What kind of stamps do I have over here? Let's do something like that on the interior. Like that. And that's so pretty. Now you got like your little writing areas. This one is pale enough that you can write directly on that. I think that's pretty. Okay, now we're going to move on to the last one that we're going to do today. This one is going to be a little bit more like the first one because I actually do have the envelope that goes with these. So we're going to actually use one of the original envelopes, although maybe we shouldn't because the envelope is bigger than the actual. So let me see if I can find an envelope that's smaller than this one. And that's not smaller. Let's see what we have here. Well, I might have lied to you guys if I don't find one that's smaller than this. Then we won't be able to do it on. Well, that's the same size, so I think we can do it with that one. Yes, I think that will work. Okay. As long as it's the same size or a little smaller, we can get away with it. Okay, so what we are going to do, this is another one of those horizontal ones. So it flips up. Now this, mostly in the past, this is what I would have done with plain cards like this, I would have literally just kind of left them like this, as I said, and made them into a signature. But you don't have to, and that's, of course, that's what we're doing today. So I'm using this pretty countryside, looks like French countryside. And the reason I chose that for that is because, toi et moi is French. I'm pretty sure I butchered that, but it'll be okay. Anyway, so we're going to do this French countryside on the inside of here because, let's see, we're going to go ahead and just do the orientation like this. Since you open it up, and then that'll open up a scene. I'm going to do both sides, do it on both sides with this one instead of just doing one side. Although you can do, I'm going to see how it looks with one side, and then I might decide to add the other side. We'll see. Like I said, this is a kind of a, yeah, let's see. And basically we're going to do the same thing that we did on the other. Just make sure we're lining our paper up where it needs to be before the glue completely settles. You get a little bit odd over a little bit like that, it's not the end of the world. But yeah, I think that is not going to be enough scenery for me. I do want both sides. So again, I'm going to go in with my ruler to make sure I'm getting a good crease where it needs to be before I go back and glue my second side. And another easy way to do that is to have it folded over like that and then just go ahead and glue this like this. And you guys can't touch this paper, but the paper that this card is made on is so beautiful. It's got some great texture. You can tell these were not cheap cards, but I picked these up and, obviously at a sale for, cheaper than what they would have been originally. And folding it over like this, folding it onto the paper, gives you that added, that it's going to fall exactly where it needs to be, which is better, I think, than trying to, and it doesn't open as well, but you have to kind of, play with it, and then you'll get it to where it needs to be. Kind of, sort of. When you're gluing paper, it's always going to be a little something. It's going to be some mess somewhere. So, you can go through and adjust it however you want to, however you need to. If you have tips and tricks or, a specific technique that you have, you can do that. If you want to just glue each side individually, like glue one side, cut it, and then glue the other side, that works too. It is all up to you. This is how I'm doing it today, and this is what we're doing today. So do what is right for you and your project. And this is more like a demonstration, so we're learning as we go. And we're having fun and just being creative. Because that's my main thing right now, is just actually doing something. Because for the longest I hadn't been doing anything. Okay, and I'm going to show you guys what I did to the envelope on the other one. Hope I'm not too far off the screen. Okay, so what I did for the other envelope is some of this extra paper that I had over here on the side, since it's pretty much the same size as that one. All I did, and it may not exactly work like it did with the other one, because this envelope is a little bit deeper down, so I might not have as much paper, but we can figure it out. Okay, so with this one, since it's going to be coming down this way, we're going to want the orientation of our, for this one, you got to make sure your orientation is right. Otherwise, it's not going to look right because you don't want your, want it upside down. So we're going to be trying to glue it onto this flap. So we're going to start, tracing with the glue on the outside of this flap here. Okay. So now we are going to take this and we are going to line it up here, making sure we're going to be able to cover the entire lip of the envelope. Okay. And then we are just going to cut it. We're going to start by cutting it this way, just so that we can have that free. All right, and so we're just going to follow along. Along the shape of the lip of the envelope. Okay, so now we got that. And with that other piece, we're basically just going to do that with it. We're just going to line it back up. If you don't want it as far up as that, then of course you can bring it down a little bit, however you want to do that. So before I do that, I'm going to go through and do a little stamping. Let me see if I can find my stamp that I used earlier. Yes, here we go. And of course you can use any color ink that you want, but since I have my brown ink here, I'm just going to use my brown ink, and let's go ahead and put this under here while I'm stamping. You can stamp however you want. I'm just going to be stamping a little bit, so whatever I have over is going to be, this will be covered by some stamping. There's no right or wrong way to stamp. I just want to kind of get, as much as possible. That'll be enough. Okay, so now you kind of going to decide, but you want to make sure you ink this so that you can see, give it a little bit of definition. The outside, you can ink that once you've got it glued. Okay, so we're just going to, I think I'm going to cut mine down just a little bit, just so it can have a little bit more of that showing through for me. So I am going to start my glue line roughly about there, and then just of course gluing everything else. Okay. Making sure it lines up. Okay. And then I'm going to cut that extra little piece off there. Making sure that you do not cut the bottom of your envelope, because then you would have, you know, taken away the main reason for this. And this is basically to create a pocket on the outside of your greeting card. If you decide to round your corners, which you can go back and round your corners, just make sure if you do, you add a little bit of glue there wherever you cut it, to make sure it goes back, you know, as one piece. Okay. All right, so now we have that. We got that matchy-matchy with the inside. We're just going to flip that over and glue that to the back of this envelope, or to the back of this greeting card. And if you wanted to, you could glue 3 sides down and create a pocket on a pocket. But for the sake of this video, I am just gluing this to the back of that. Okay. Now, with this one, I think I am going to add a little bit of ruffle down here just so it's very pretty, because I'm not doing very much to the front because I like the front of this one just the way it is. So I'm just going to go through here and tear a little bit of paper. And I am just going to, you can add pockets if you want to. That is completely up to you. With this one, I am just going to add just a little bit of ruffle here. I saw another YouTuber crafter on here. You know, for the life of me, I couldn't find her channel again, but she did like this really pretty blue themed journal, like little stuff, and she was showing how to get quick ruffles with this type of paper. And ever since, like, I have adapted to that, and I absolutely love it. And look at how cute that is. It doesn't even have to be, you know, even just, it gives it just a little bit of extra something, and I think that is so beautiful. But anyway, guys, this is what we have done today. I hope you guys will be able to use this with some of your greeting cards that you may have a lot of sitting around that you just kind of been using in a basic way. I hope this will inspire you to pull those out and create something fun. So we've done this one with just the plain interior. You can go back and ink that later. And then we've got them like a matching envelope on the back of there to store things in. We got that one, the one that I did off camera, of course. We turned it into like a little glue book, writing almost like a mini journal. You could make mini journals like this out of your greeting cards. And then I add a space on here in the back, you know, with the envelope to make a pocket. Then with these, we just added a little stamping, some paper on the interior and paper on the back and the top to give that a pretty look. With this one, we added kind of like a little paper spine. We made a pocket on the back, and then on the interior, we made 2 pockets. So you got your pockets there. And then on this one, let's see, let me get to it. I ended up putting that one backwards. We added some paper there to give a little something there, another little sentiment besides what it said, and basically the same thing. We added ruffle to this one, no pockets, although you could go back and add pockets if you wanted to. And then on the back we added another pocket to the back of this as well. So anyway, guys, that was our project for today. We got 5 done. Well, I got 1 done without you guys, but we got 4 done together. I hope that has inspired you. Let me know in the comments if you think that this is a project that you will use. As always, feel free to share any projects that you come up with using this technique with me at my email address, thepaperliononline@gmail.com. And I hope, like I said, I hope that you guys can take this tutorial and run away with it. Like I said, I always provide the bones. You guys provide the meat. Anyway, guys, if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. For all my returning subscribers, you guys know I appreciate you being here with me. And until the next video, bye!